they sometimes think like, whoa, what I'm doing at Meta. Like how does
Yeah,
the background, like what's Meta doing with
exactly.
hiring a
Yes.
people like from geological engineering.
From geological engineering.
So
Exactly.
yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So yeah, and so the reason I changed my field was that I used to like geography, and also uh, like I was very focused on map plotting and all that we used to do in like high school or in
Mm-hmm.
junior school. So that's yeah. So that's when my collaboration, all these things started.
Mm.
So with ISRO and UNOSA 20, and yeah, I participated in some conferences also. And then yeah, I applied for my PhD. I think in during fall 2018, I emailed my
Yeah.
like current professor,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, and then I came to the US in 2019 after like fall 2019 after my
Fall
master's was over.
engineers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you
So
always knew when you were coming here. So you talked with your professor. Your professor's name is, I guess, Ryan Smith, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So you talked with him from India that you are interested in
yeah,
working,
yeah.
or he
Another
you already knew
yeah.
he was working on that. Did you?
So so like I said, I was working with snow. So
Yes. Yeah.
that's like a field called cryosphere, and it's
Cryosphere.
cryosphere. That's where like
Okay.
scientists like they work with snow and ice, and like both related to glaciers or like mountain ice and
Okay.
stuff.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that domain is called cryosphere, and hydrology is like more related to water, but it's
Okay.
like related. So both the fields like
Yes. Yeah.
related. So and I also like as part of one of the course modules, I worked on a like hydrological model that estimates runoff. So that's basically estimating like suppose rain is happening, and then some of it you see like running down the
Yeah.
concrete, let's say. So
Yes.
that or those kind of things they affect the hydrologic cycle. So I had
Oh, yeah.
a
Definitely. Yes. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing I had a model that we published as a conference paper back in
Okay.
2018, and so that paper basically was very useful in for me getting a PhD in the US.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah. So initially I had
Okay.
plans to pursue PhD in Europe. That's why I
Okay.
only applied to like 3 places in the US.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just mailed 3 professors. One was from Missouri S&T, other two were from Ohio State and Idaho State University.
Okay.
So, and I got responses from all of them. They told me to apply. But then, as you know, like US applications like are expensive. Like, I couldn't have applied for
Oh,
10.
yeah. That's true. That's true.
That's like too
Yes.
much money. And that time I was just a student. Like I wasn't
Yeah.
working on anything. So
That's true. That's true. That
so
happens.
yeah,
Yes. Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So I and the PhD application in Europe is free. You just get to email professors
Huh. Yes. Yes.
or
That's true.
the
It's
department.
free.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, so I thought that after interacting with my professor at S&T, I thought like
If
he's a
you're
good
good,
guy. Yeah,
he
good
is a
fit.
good guy. You can work with him
Yeah,
on that
yeah.
things.
And at that point,
Yes.
like he also did his PhD from Stanford.
Mm-hmm.
So I was his first PhD student. So
Oh,
that
okay.
yeah.
Nice.
So
Okay. So he
that
also just
also helps.
started his
Yeah, career. Yeah,
lab, I'll say. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. That's nice. That's nice.
And
Okay. Great.
yeah, and he had these domain skills, and I thought like with
Okay.
my experience in like an interdisciplinary field and also like some experience with coding and stuff, so I could help out like
You
collaborative
can both,
projects. Yeah,
yeah, and do
yeah.
projects together.
So yeah.
Can you tell
So
a bit how, like a bit in depth as to how your work needs or uses computer science or data science or any of these machine learning skills? Like what
yeah,
kind
I
of
can.
work?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know because of like regulation stuff, you can tell exactly, and that's
Mm,
understandable. But
No,
like
I
how
can talk
these
about my
things are
research.
related?
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah.
How in
So
your research is how is it related? Yeah.
yeah, so basically my research is mostly dependent on data sets that satellites acquire, and also some other data sets that are developed through, like, for example, I use a precipitation data set that that has like precipitation data throughout the US.
Okay.
And so those come from rain gauges, like devices
Mm-hmm.
that are used to measure rainfall. So those kind of are those are kind of other data sets that I use along with satellite data sets. And now all these data are very large, right? You need
Yeah.
you need to process that can't be done like with manually, or so you need kind of automation stuff
Yeah.
that you download the data sets automatically, you feed it in a pipeline, and that does your data cleaning, data organization, whatever, and that then goes into your model, right? because as you know, like in machine learning, if your data is garbage, your model output is also
Your
garbage.
model is of no use.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you have to
Yes.
think from like the first step till the end. And so these kind of skills like teaches you how, in a company also, like they want people with skills that like who can build pipelines and stuff like that. So yeah, so in my research, I develop usually like automated tools so that downloads all this, because these are publicly available data that I'm mostly working with. So you have these APIs that can call directly from Python, and then you download these resets, and then I use some openly available libraries in Python. So one of them is called GDAL, Geospatial Data Abstraction Library. That's one of the like most popular like libraries in this domain, geospatial domain.
Yes.
And so those kind of data like libraries. And yeah, then so for example, in the recent project that I work with the USGS, United States Geological Survey. So so I basically work on a federal project as part of my Ph.D. research. And in that project, so I used this kind of automated tools along with distributed computing. So I use the Missouri S&T high performance computing cluster that is there. And that then I used Dask, which is with which you can like basically run your machine learning pipeline in a distributed environment. Because with scikit-learn, like you have this kind of a single node or single machine system, right, with multiple cores. But when you go
with
to a
pandas and
distributed,
with scikit-learn,
yes. But when you go to a distributed environment, you have like multiple nodes or multiple systems. Instead of like one system, multiple cores, you have multiple systems with multiple cores, right? So initially, I implemented that entire project on my laptop, basically Alienware, and that is to take like, so the hyperparameter modeling tuning that I was doing, it was like around 20 hours or something using grid cells. And so when I use Dask on a distributed computer, like on the Missouri S&T HPC, my runtime came to like 10 or 15 minutes. So
wow, so big difference. It's a big difference.
So because you can use like 200 gigs of memory along with all the compute nodes, right?
Yes.
And so these kind of things, like even if you do in a research project, this gets like a lot of attention when you, so in a CV you can say like, I worked on these packages, and in like tech internships or anything, they ask like what kind of libraries are you familiar with, or what kind of projects you have done, with how much, like especially in data science, like they'll ask like what's the biggest data set or like scale you have worked at, like with your data. And this question I was asked both in like during my earlier internship at Planet, and also this time at Meta. So so I think these kind of skills like help, because you are getting familiar with large data sets, which often like in data science field, collecting data is quite hard, especially if you work with other proprietary data or anything. But in my field, like most of the data, like NASA has this policy of releasing all the data publicly. So I have the opportunity to work on large scale like data sets, often like going to gigabytes or terabytes even. So those kind of things are really useful. Like you can show it in our CV. So that's why I feel like you need people from computer science. Like if people are, obviously depends on their interest. Not everyone is interested in this field, but if people are really motivated to solve like issues related to climate change or work in the sustainability domain, then I think, and if they also have the tech skills or